Good morning, FlossTube. I'm going to keep my voice down a little bit, so hopefully it will record the way it should. I have everyone sleeping in my house. It's Sunday morning, so I thought I would take full advantage of the peace and quiet. So we will see how long that goes, because of course this will be when they decide they want to all get up. But hopefully not. Hopefully we wore them all out yesterday. So if this is the first time you're watching one of my floss tubes, this is floss tube number 3. My name is LaDonna, and a lot of you may be familiar with Black Branch Needlework, which is now Sampling of Memories. So I do antique sampler reproductions, original designs, and needlework accessories. So that's a quick synopsis for those of you who have stumbled across my floss tube for the first time. So I want to, of course, thank everyone who has taken the time over the last couple weeks to subscribe, comment on my videos. I do read all of them. And I do respond to all of them. I know I need to take some time and respond to some of my more recent comments, but things have been a little bit hectic in our household, and I will explain a little bit about that in a second. But I do want to take time to thank all of you, your comments, your likes, your dislikes. I do enjoy all of it. So I also wanted to, I've only had a chance to watch a couple of floss tubes, and so I wanted to thank Priscilla and Chelsea for the shout out that they did on their video a couple weeks ago. Believe it or not, I just watched it this weekend. That's how crazy things have been. So let's see here. I also had an opportunity, let's see, the week of the 15th. I had to go to San Antonio for work, so I had a chance to stop by the local shop there, which I'm now completely drawing a blank on. Stitches from the Heart. I hope I got that right, and I'll double check it. And I will completely edit this out if I messed it up. So anyway, so I had a chance to stop by, and I always love going to the shops. A lot of folks I get to meet at Needlework Market, and that's the only time I see them. So when I was visiting, the lady that was checking me out, she kept looking, and she's like, "Do you have a shop?" And so finally I said, "No, I'm a needlework designer," and we have met probably at Market, and so I had an opportunity to chat with them for a little while. And one of the ladies there will actually be at the Prim Retreat this coming weekend. So this is Memorial Day weekend, so it'll be the first weekend of June in Pennsylvania, which I will be at since it's only about 3 hours from my house. So I will be in the Merchant Mall. So it was nice to be able to get to meet them. It was the first time I have been able to actually spend time in Texas. I have seen all the airports. I believe I've been through Fort Worth, Dallas, Houston. So this was the first time. Now I can say I've been to the San Antonio airport, and I actually got to spend some time there. And it wasn't too hot, which was nice. I had to do some training for our new hires onboarding, and the office building that our company is in for San Antonio location has had the conference room up on the 15th floor. So I'm up on the 15th floor. Of course my laptop wouldn't work, so I had to go down to the 6th floor. But anyway, nonetheless, while I was up there on the 15th floor on both sides, because you could see one side, you could see all the way downtown San Antonio, and the other side you could see all the way to what our person there said was hill country. So whatever that means to y'all that are in the Texas area, I could just see there is not a lot of tall buildings that direction, and there were a lot of hills. So it was really neat to spend some time there. But of course, at the same time, I was in San Antonio. My husband was in North Carolina picking up his mother and his brother to move in with us. So he was picking her up from rehab because they were supposed to move in, let's see, towards the end of April. And literally the week before he was going to go down there and pick them up and move them up here, she fell in their garage and shattered her femur. so she spent about 3 weeks in rehab. So when he went to pick her up, he brought her here, and so now we have a lot of stuff that we need to go through and get organized and get some in-home care set up for her as she continues her rehabilitation. And so our life is a little hectic right now, so I was just glad to be able to grab a few minutes, but I wanted to do this, and because I do have a giveaway that we're going to do at the end to give to the lucky winner, and I will talk a little bit about what I'm hoping to be able to give away in June. So, because as I said, I will be doing a big one and a little one, so which I completely forgot to draw the name for the little one. So let's see here. What I will do for this weekend, I'll go ahead and draw the name for the big one, and then the next video that I do, I will draw the name for 2. I'll do the one that I should be doing today, plus the one for people who do comments and subscribes to my FlossTube channel. I will do that both on the next video, and that'll give me some time to come up with some good things. How's that? Especially since I'm going to a merchant market next week. I'll pick up some interesting things. How's that? To make it up to you. I apologize. And so today I decided to wear my glasses. I just realized I still had them on because really I can't see 5 feet past me. So, and now that I've hit the magic age of 50, apparently anything close up needs to get further away as well. So I have now entered the world of progressives. And I have also went back to literally wearing glasses I wore when my husband and I were dating. Remember, ladies, and back in the 80s, the big Sally Jesse Raphael glasses? Well, they're back, and I think they've been back. I just don't really pay attention to that. But the way he reminded me was when we first started dating, when I had these big glasses on, he'd always come up and do this to me. So I put my glasses on the first time, and what does he do? He comes over, and I was like, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. So here's a tip. Just keep your glasses, because they come back in style again. Just get new lenses and call it quits. And I will tell you another thing. Since I'm an HR professional, and my real job is an HR professional. So part of what I do are benefits, dealing with all the lovely benefits that we have and how they change. But one thing is, I don't know if you guys have seen where you can actually order your glasses online. So these actually came from Zenni Optical, and I thought, I'm gonna try it. So when you get your prescription, all you do is you measure the center of your pupil and you give them that measurement. You select your glasses, you give them your prescription, you put in all of your information, and I think you even have to include your doctor information in case, I guess, they have to verify it or something like that. And actually, I think I uploaded my prescription into the application that they have. But anyway, these showed up, and they fit great, and they are, so when I got them, it was like 60 bucks for the glasses, that not including shipping. So so anyway, there's a tip for you to get some glasses that if you're afraid to try it, go ahead and try it, because it may be a good solution for you to have. So one of the reasons I have my glasses on is because my gift away is the 2-volume Betty Ring Girlhood Embroideries book set. Well, I thought I would go over my collection of books. So as you can see, and this is only a small section of them. So what I have here, I thought I would go through them really quickly because, let's see, June the 9th, Delaware is hosting a symposium for the new Delaware book on American Girl samplers. So I apologize if I'm a little distracted. There's some movement going on in my house, so bear with me. So I think I showed these a couple weeks ago. These are just, these are magazines or catalogs that you can get from Amy Finkel, who's located in Pennsylvania. Her magazine is called Samplings, and what she does is she features, it's mainly American Girl samplers, but she features samplers that have come into her hands. Most of them, I believe, are for sale or have already been sold, and she has a little bio on all of them and talks about them. So this is something that comes out, I don't know the frequency, I want to say quarterly, but don't quote me on that. You can go to her website and sign up for that. She is very easy, samplings with an S.com. So, and yeah, I have a lisp, added bonus. So here's, I think I showed this a few weeks ago when I showed the Betty Ring 2-volume set, but this is a great book that she has on American Needlework Treasures. It's even in color, which with some of the earlier books, you don't get them in color. A lot of times the images are black and white, which that's nice, but I want to see them, and you have to have them in color. So anyway, but some of the older books, they just, you know, they didn't print them in color. It's very expensive. And this may be one. So this is Samplers, 5 Centuries of a Gentle Craft by Anne Seba. And it's one I think I picked up, yeah, off of Amazon, because it's probably out of print. So every once in a while I'll go through and I'll see what they have showing up. And this one actually talks about samplers. So it starts from, let's see here, it includes all, so it's not just American samplers, but as you can see, the photos are in black and white, so it doesn't bring them to life as much as the color, and you know, they're meant to be seen in color. But this book, I believe, let's see, it was printed, $19.79, so it would have been pretty expensive to do that. And what I'm trying to do is focus mostly on American samplers, but I just grabbed that because it was a sampler book, and let's face it, samplers started over in the UK and kind of moved over here with the girls. So this book is Historic Samplers, and it is by Patricia Ryan and Alan D. Bragdune. And Patricia Ryan, a lot of you know her as Pat Ryan with R&R. So she does for dyeing to stitch. R&R is the fabric dyeing that they do, the fabrics that they offer. So she is co-author of this book. So I was glad. This one is definitely out of print, so I was very happy to pick this one up. But she does a very good job of the photos, and then the story about the girl, and giving some information about her, where she lived, and a little bit about her background. So that's a good book to pick up, and that one I would put in your watch list on some of the sites like eBay and Amazon, because they don't always come up very often. So, and then this is a book on Pennsylvania. This one's done by Margaret Schiffer, and it's Historical Needlework of Pennsylvania. And I will add all the lists down at the bottom. This one was printed. Well, isn't that interesting? It doesn't really say. It just says copyright, which means I'm on the wrong page. Yeah, it doesn't really say. Interesting. I will have to look that up. But she has it broken out, so she has information about Pennsylvania samplers. She has images, but then towards the back, so it had to be done probably in the late 70s, early 80s, because of the cost of printing. Well, I know I saw it said needlework. Here we go. So she does have some color images as well. So not only is it, it's silk embroidery, it is Moravian embroidery or needlework. I'm sure I butchered that. Let's see, canvas work is in here, and it's been a while since I've looked through all of these, so but I thought, given how much, a lot of the comments, we collect books, we love books, and we love learning about samplers. Crewel is in here as well. So it's a hodgepodge of pretty much any type of needlework that was done in Pennsylvania. And then this is the Oblate Sisters of Providence. And I believe, yes, this is a Maryland group of ladies, I believe outside of Baltimore, that were known for doing their needlework and teaching, and so it's a whole story about the ladies and what they did. And so if you're interested in that, so this is more a Baltimore area. This is by Sharon Knecht, K-N-E-C-H-T. And then a couple years ago, at this, I think it was like back in 2014, we went to New Jersey because they were having a needlework exhibit on New Jersey samplers. And so this was one of the books I picked up. I picked up several while I was there, but Hell Specimen of Female Art, New Jersey Schoolgirl Needlework, 1726 to 1860, Morven Museum and Garden. So it's a very nicely done book. They also had gift cards, but they had a very large collection of New Jersey samplers. So they have them all photographed in here, information about the sampler, what they were able to research, but every page has a sampler. It has the story of the girl, what they find significant about that sampler, and all of the photos are in color. So I'm sure you could probably contact Morven Park, and I'm sure they probably still have some copies in their bookstore. They may also have this one as well. It's Education Forms, so Education Forms the Mind, Early Female Education in New Jersey, with special emphasis on needlework instruction, compiled, edited, and annotated by Dan and Marty Campanelli. So once again, a very nice book. This one's not in color, but you could actually, I think, refer back to the Hale Specimen of Female Art, because a lot of them do cross over. So it'll give you an idea, at least, of the region, because remember, a lot of them are region specific as to the style and due to how the teachers, I mean, the girls back then were taught. So someone was teaching them. There was usually a needlework teacher located in their area, so they usually had a very specific style, and that was what they taught the girls. So if you've ever heard of like the Mary Bach samplers, they have very similar styles, and that's because she was their teacher. So they learned what she taught them, and they all learned the same thing, basically, because they were learning from the same teacher. So this is a very good book, and I would check with them too to see if they have it when you call Morven or look online. I haven't looked to see if they have a section online. I'll do that. It's just now 7:45 at my house, so it's early, and I haven't had coffee yet, because then I'd be like, and then this one is a Maine schoolgirl sampler book. So it is My Needle Ply with Skill, Maine Schoolgirl Needlework of the Federal Era, by Leslie L. Rounds, and it has a very nice sampler. It's very, I mean, all these books are very well done. They're published, I mean, it takes a lot of time to put these together. I know when I'm taking pictures, one of the biggest challenges I have when I reproduce samplers or my own designs is getting a good picture of the sampler and putting everything together, and the accessories that I do. I mean, that to me, taking photographs is the most tedious thing, because it's so hard to get a good photo, especially of something that's small. So that's the part I always dread. So those of you that go to my Etsy shop, you'll agree, because yeah, and you kind of, to me, you have to see them in person. But anyway, since we can't see all the samplers in person, when they do a really good job on putting a book together for us, we need to grab them, ladies, because most of the time when these go out of print, they're gone, and you're only going to get them if someone is downsizing, or an old bookshop, Amazon, eBay, but still, it's, you know, because someone's getting rid of it, that you're going to be able to find it. And then this one is another one on New Jersey. So I kind of interspersed Maine there, sorry. But this one's a sampling of Henderson County of needlework. Needlework, the motifs, the makers, and their stories, and it's by Dan and Marty Campanelli as well, for the Hunterdon County Historical Society. So you would want to check with them. And I will list all of this information down below so you have it. And if I can find any links for their websites or shops or anything, I'll take care of that too. But this one is another one that's very well done, and it's color, the stories, I mean, the paper is nice and thick, so you just want to sit and just absorb these when you get your hands on them. because they're just wonderful books. All right, and then this one, let's see here, Virtue Leads and Grace Prevails, Embroideries and Education in Antebellum, South Carolina. So this is done by Curious Works Press, York County Culture and Heritage Commission. I think it goes without saying, especially those of you that aren't familiar with American schoolgirl samplers, due to the Civil War and how the South was basically obliterated, a lot of these did not survive. So when you find one that's, and if they did survive, they usually stayed in the family, because, you know, Southerners keep all that stuff and just keep passing it down. And I'm sure they do in the North, but in the South it just seems like that's just much more prevalent, or at least from what I've seen. So a lot of times they're still in the family, so they don't really leave the family. So if you find one, I would grab it. If you find a real antique from the South. This one's very nicely done as well. So you have your color photos, a little bit about the history of the girl, whatever information I'm sure they were able to find on the sampler they've documented here. But for me, these are great reference books. So this one is done by Sue Studebaker, and it's Ohio is My Dwelling Place, Schoolgirl Embroideries from the 1800s to the 1850s. And she did a phenomenal job. I mean, this is a very thick book. So the girls in Ohio must have been very prolific. But she has some beautiful images of some of the samplers. I don't know how well you can see that one, but just the border on that one is just amazing, with all the flowers, and the detail along the border is just phenomenal. So these are a real treat when you can get your hands on them, but I thought I would take some time to go through some of these, because especially those of you who are new to samplers and don't really realize the history and the amount of research that has been done on them and how much you can learn, I thought it would be worth talking about them. So I'm going to hold off on this one a second, and you'll see why. This one is, I did this on purpose, actually. This is a Connecticut book, and when I ordered it, they had left it in plastic, which because I had already seen someone else's, I left it in the plastic, and I will do that sometimes just because it keeps them in such good shape, and especially when it's a soft one, it's easy, especially when you're moving your books around and stuff like I've been doing a lot of lately. It keeps the edges from getting a little worn, and I don't like my edges worn, so if you see that on any of my books, it's because I bought it used, and not everyone appreciates them the way we do. But this one I left the price on. This is a very nice book. It's very well done, and it was with needle and brush schoolgirl embroidery from the Connecticut River Valley, 1740 to 1840, and it's done by Carol and Stephen Huber, Susan Schulwer, and I probably mispronounced it, and Amy Kurtz Lansing. So it's a nice book. It came from I would check with the Florence Griswold Museum, and I will put that in the list of reference material that I put down below for you guys. But I also like to leave them if they have when they have the plastic, because of the price tag, because then I know what I paid for them, and you can see over the years how they increase due to how cost of materials and everything go up. The next one I'm going to talk about is the other Connecticut one, and it's by the Connecticut Historical Society, Connecticut Needlework, Women, Art, and Family, 1740 to 1840. So this has a lovely beehive on top, since bees seem to be the hot in thing right now, but this is a beautiful book as well. It's a heavy hardbound book, so I'm not going to sit here and flip through a lot of the pages, because it's a little heavy. But that's a beautiful sampler, so all the images are in color and stories about the girls. But what I really want to talk about, because I had mentioned earlier about the Delaware Symposium that's going to be going on in 2 weeks, one of the folks who was responsible for spearheading that or guiding the way for it was Gloria Seaman Allen. I always want to get it backwards. This is a book that she did a few years ago on Columbia's daughters, which are the DC samplers. So she does a great job. The stories, the detail, they have days where they have people to bring their samplers in for them to look at that have remained in families, so people will take them in if they think it may be you know, an original sampler done during that time period, and they will photograph them, document information about them. So she's done Columbia's Daughters, which are basically DC, and then she's also done Maryland, a Maryland sampling of Girlhood embroideries, 1738 to 1860. And you can tell these are really thick, heavy books, and they're extremely well done. So supposedly the one for Delaware will be at the Symposium. So since I have a book theme going on, I thought it would be nice to pick one up to do as my giveaway for June. So if they are actually going to be there, they say they're going to be, so hopefully they are, and they're supposed to have a time where the books can be signed and everything. I'm going to pick one up, and that will be my June giveaway. So hopefully all of that works out, or giftaway I should say. So stay tuned for that. I am going to have to wrap this up because I hear my house getting a little bit more active, and as it gets more active, the dogs are going to bark, and everything else will start going on. So just a reminder, let me give away this one. And I'm not going to hold it up because when I did that last time, my camera, because I've got my cord going through there and everything, it completely fell to the ground. And so I'm not going to do that again. But for the Betty Ring 2-set Girlhood embroidery, it's going to go to Brenda Holzman. So Brenda, you can send me an email, you can Facebook message me, you can Instagram message me. I'll have all my contact information down below. Just feel free to contact me any way you can out of the options I list. But Brenda likes to hoard stitching supplies, old books, and blue willow dishes. So I like ironstone myself, but blue willow is pretty as well. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch. As always, if you I think I've already told you about what the giveaway is for this one. So leave me a comment, make sure that you subscribe, and share that I'm out here, because a lot of the FlossTubes don't focus on samplers. So I know there are a lot of sampler lovers out there, so if they want to follow along with me as I share more about them, I would love for you to share my information with them. And I'm sorry I'm a little discombobulated this morning. I'm just going to have to figure this out, but I wanted to do this because I know next weekend I'm not going to have time with going to Pennsylvania, and I've got to figure out how to carve out my life right now. So please bear with me as I work through this. I will find a way, believe me. So until next time, I wish all of you much love, happiness, and to those of you who have served our country, thank you so much for your sacrifice, or for family members that you have lost because they've been serving our country. We appreciate everything that you do to give us the country that we have, the freedoms that we have, that we are able to enjoy on a day-to-day basis due to your sacrifices. Thank you.